Okay, so this was peak, this is dip, right?
Yes.
So this is crest and trough that you asked me. This is trough. Trough, we cannot define dip as the trough. Okay.
Okay.
Then if there is a very small change in the data, like a data has been started from here and it has reached till this point only. It's a very small change, I would say. So what words I can use to represent this data? Small change? Slightly, yes. Minimally. Minimally. Okay. But if there is a very large change, it starts from here and ending here. It's a very large change. So I will use words sharply, rapidly, drastically, very good, significantly, so these words I can use. Now, if you want to mention some years, like naturally, sometimes the data comes mostly in the years, like 2000, 2001, then 2005, 2008, these changes are happening. Hai na? So if the data comes in this way, so what are the different ways is right? In 2000, this is the most simplest way that you can write. And suppose if the variable is going like this, that first is the 2000, then it's 2005, then it's 2010, then 2015. If it's coming after some specific years of gap, like here the gap is 5 years. Suppose if there is a gap of 2 years between two consecutive years, right? If there is a gap of 4 years. So in that way, how you can write, if you want to tell the first change, first half change, so you can say in first 4 years or in first 5 years, rather than started writing from in 2000 or in 2005. You can say like this. And suppose if you have started your data from the in 2000, so you can also say in 2000 this change happened, but in the next 4 years this changed happened. Okay. So these are the ways to give the variations to the line rather than repeating the same things.
Okay.
Okay. Then if a change is taking place in between these 2 years, if a change is taking place in between the 2 years, then what you can use? During. And another option for it is from. From 2000 to 2005, the data increased markedly, the data increased drastically. Okay. Or during 2000 and 2005, this change has been noticed. Okay.
Okay.
Next. Now come to the percentage, because mostly the data comes in the percentage, and every time we like that it has reached almost 70%, 60%, 40%, 30%, right? So to avoid such kind of repetition, what changes we can give to the percentages? First of all, let's start with the middle number, that is a 50%. So what you can call the 50%? Half. Then coming down, what you call 25%?
Quarter.
A quarter. 20%?
1/5.
Yes, a fifth. 10%,
A tenth.
1 in 10. 1 in 10. Now going up, 75% is
3/4.
3/4. 80%,
4/5.
And suppose now the data is somewhat near to these numbers. Okay. Just suppose it's like 77%. So what I can say?
Just over 3/4.
Very good. So I can say just over 3/4. This time we know that we can say it like this, but when the students start writing the task, now sometimes they forget that we can also go for these kind of wordings. Okay. So 77% is just over 3/4. Then if you want to write 49%, how will you write?
Just under 50%.
Just under half. Yeah. Just under half. Or another way of saying is nearly a half. Just under half or nearly a half. 32%.
Almost a third.
Almost a third. Okay. So this is the way of doing percentage. Then okay, if suppose the data is in very very high in numbers, say around 85% or 90%. So also what we can say, a large majority of people. Okay. For higher proportion of data, which is around 85 or to 95%. So I can also use the word a large majority of people prefer to take this thing. Like for example, we did the bar graph just now, the sample I sent to you. So what you could say, for a particular age group, a large majority of people of this age group prefer to use the internet in this year. Okay, preferred this much percentage of internet this year. So this is also a way. And if the number is very small, say the number is around 2 to 5 or to say 8%, then what we can say? A very small number or minority of people. Minority of people, or you can say a very small number of people. Done? Then if something is more common, if something is more common for in some age group or in some pattern, so you can say this thing is more considerably common. You can use this word.
More considerably common.
Noted?
Noted.
So you can say anything. Yeah, just suppose let's take the example of the same bar graph. Internet is more considerably common for this age group in this year. Like this. Okay. Then for percentage, like if I have to show the percentage of every data, so rather than writing again and again which were this, which was this, which is this, so we can also say this thing constitutes, and then you write the percentage. Constitutes 5%, constitutes a very small amount, constitutes minority of people, anything that you can use. Okay, constitutes 3/4, constitutes almost a third. That way also we can write. Okay. Another term is followed by. Followed by. Followed by means one data is there and you need to tell that the next one is this one. Okay. So rather than saying or making the new sentences like India is on the top of the population followed by China, right? That means India is on first position, China is on second position. So in this way also you can write, and this is a very common thing that we generally use, and even try to use followed by in each of your task one. Okay. So you can use this phrase very easily. It's not compulsory that you can use it only to tell the first, second positions. Even if you have already told the one that maximum is by this, minimum is by this. So on second number, it is this followed by this country. Wherever you can use, but it should be continuation, in continuation. After one, second number should be that country. Okay. So there we will use the followed by. Another way, like, rather than saying simply that the maximum amount of this is there, you can also say that for suppose like India, if I say India grabs the first position in terms of population, which is around, and then any percentage. So this is also the way of writing. Okay.
Okay.
If suppose you have already written that India has the maximum population of around this much, followed by China with this much, surprisingly, Kuwait grabs the third position in the series, yeah, in the data. Hai na? So you can use it for any position, anything. This is one of the way of giving variations to the line. In first two countries, we have used followed by connector. In the second formation, rather than saying that Kuwait stands at, Kuwait has this much of population. So it's a very simple word. We can also say that Kuwait grabs the third position. Kuwait stands at the third position. That too also we can use. Okay? Stands at the third position in terms of population. So anything. Right? So most of the things we have covered for task one, the different ways of writing. Like if you are comparing the things, very important thing, like task one always says you to give a comparison. Okay. So always try to introduce some words that actually shows the comparison. What kind of words?
More than, less than.
Than, yes, than, as compared to, more likely, between, among. All these words indicate towards the comparison.
Okay.
And rest, the most important thing that I told you yesterday also, that try to use to make the passive sentences as much as possible. Okay. The more you will make a task in a passive sentence, passive way, the more it will give you the bands. Now we will do the connectors for task 2. I am not going to give you a very lengthy list of the connectors because in task 1 we need to make the variations in each and every line. That's why I told you this much of detail. Okay, but in task 2, whatever connectors we use, we need to write only one essay. So we don't need to have a huge list of the connectors. This will make you confused only. I will tell you the connectors that are right now very much acceptable in IELTS. Okay. Now, the first one, intro paragraph, we have finished completely. That everything about intro paragraph now you know. Now, when we are supposed to start the body paragraph 1, starting body paragraph 1. So after the intro paragraph, when we will start writing the body paragraph, what connectors you can use? To commence with, comma, or you can use to initiate. We have number of other connectors: to begin, on the one side, on the one hand, to embark on, to embark upon. Multiple things we have to give a starter to a BP1, but I suggest to go for either one of this. Okay? To commence with or to initiate. And the most important thing that you need to make sure, wherever you are using any connector, you need to put a comma after that. Okay? Yes. After every connector, whether you are using it in the beginning of paragraph, in the middle of the paragraph, wherever you are using it, after every connector, you are supposed to put a comma. Right? Yeah. Now, next is BP2. Accept the question, discuss both views and give your opinion. If I leave that type of question, BP2 is always a continuation of BP1 where we give the another point. Yes?
Yes.
Because if you are supposed to write, do you agree, disagree, then also you are continuing the agree point. If you are supposed to write to what extent do you agree, do you agree or disagree, then also you are continuing the next agree point, right? Or if you are writing advantages, positives, negatives, whatever you are writing, we are supposed to make 2 body paragraphs of the point in favor and 1 paragraph of not favor, right? So second paragraph will always be a continuation of the first paragraph. But discuss both views is the only type in which the second is not the continuation of the first. Because in second, we have to discuss the second view, which is naturally the opposite of the first one. Right? So just forget this part. Just forget discuss both views. For the rest of the types, how we can start the BP2?
As well as
to fortify further, to fortify further, comma, adding further. Right? These two, any one of these two you can use to start your second body paragraph. Clear? Now write some more in this only. Furthermore, moreover, to add further, yet another factor, yet another factor is, okay.
Okay.
Now, why I have given you these words? Because if suppose in one paragraph you are giving more than 1 point, then these are the connectors that you can use to add the second point. Right? Suppose in discuss both views, in the first paragraph, in discussing the first view, you are giving 2 points. First point you have mentioned. Now, before adding the second point, you can use any of these. Okay. So these and the 45 further adding further have the same meaning. That is to add further a point. But if you are starting a new paragraph, try to use any one of them, and in between the paragraph you can use out of these. Understood?
Understood.
Noted. Should I change the board?
Yes, you can change the word.
Now coming to the BP3. And after putting a slash, I am also writing BP2 for discuss both views. Because now for rest of the question, BP3 will be containing the opposite point, which will be the BP2 for discuss both views. Right?
Yes.
Now, two options again here. On the contrary, comma, on the flip side, comma. So you can use any one of them.
On the other hand.
On the other hand, yes, definitely. But I told you, I'm just giving you which IELTS is accepting right now. On the other hand is a very common phrase. Even a student who wants to achieve the 5 or 6 bands, they will use this phrase. But here we are targeting for 7, so try to go for them. Whatever you are telling is not wrong at all. But the things I am telling you is only for 7 bands. Okay.
Understood.
So these are the 3 paragraphs. Okay. Now we have write this for the BP2 of discuss both views, but BP3 of discuss both views is left, which is an opinion paragraph. Only in this type of question, a third paragraph will be an opinion paragraph. Okay. So whenever you have to make opinion paragraph, the only connector that is IELTS accepting these days is however, I believe that. Very simple. Anna? Very simple line. But this is going to give you bands. And a 6 or a 5 band student, you know, they will choose a very complicated vocabulary. However, I ponder my point inclining towards this. Like they use the heavy words to impress the examiner. And after using this much of part, rest of the sentence, they will start writing wrong. So examiner clearly gets the idea that they have just learned the phrases from somewhere and now they are just copying and pasting it over here. Okay, so examiners are very smart. They know from the writing of the child who is trying to just impress the examiner without having the knowledge and who has a complete knowledge of the topic and writing smoothly according to it. So we don't want to show a very highest part of the vocabulary unnecessarily, especially for the connectors. If you want to show your vocabulary, show it in your pointing part where you are going to give the description of the point. Right?
Yes.
Otherwise, what happened? Connectors, students write very heavily with very high vocabulary and then the points become very simple. They don't use any vocabulary during the points. So this also puts a negative impression on the examiner's mind. Okay. Now, after this, whenever you want to introduce any example, whenever you want to introduce any example in your body paragraphs, what are the ways of writing the example or to start the example? First, very simple, for example, comma, then for instance, to exemplify, to illustrate. Now here I have given you 4 options. In rest of the paragraphs I gave you only 2, but here I have given you 4. The reason, if you get examples, you can add examples in all the 3 body paragraphs. Okay, there is no restriction of giving examples that you can give only in 1 paragraph or only in 2. If you get ideas of example, you can make example in all the 3 paragraphs. So to give the example in all the 3, you need variation. Obviously, you cannot repeat in all the 3, for example, for example, for example. So to give the variations, I have given you 4 options. If you're making 3 examples in 3 paragraphs, you can choose any 3 different. Don't repeat the same. Okay?
Okay.
Try to avoid repetition as much as you can in IELTS writing. Even in speaking also. As we are only going for the writing, this is an additional tip I'm giving you for speaking. If the examiner asks you any question, don't repeat it as it is. Paraphrase the question and then answer.
Okay. So paraphrase then answer. So even in speaking, I have to paraphrase.
Sorry, I have also.
In speaking, I also have to paraphrase and then answer.
This is a best way. I suggest my students to go for this, for especially the 7 band scorer. But you have already achieved a good marks, so no tension over here. But try to do if you can.
Okay, is it difficult to lift your score from a 6.5 to a 7?
In writing or in any other module?
In writing.
Not at all. You just need to follow some of these tips. And I think like the way the first sample that you have sent to me of the task 1, this could be a major reason that why you have lost your marks, because you didn't follow the pattern of writing. You scored 6.5 maybe because of your good English skills. Your writing was accurate grammatically. I read it. It was good. It was right grammatically. But you didn't follow the proper IELTS pattern. That was the lacking only. That's why I focused on the number of paragraphs from the beginning, that how many, even I don't know how you have written the task 2 over there, like how many paragraphs you have made, whether you have divided them in these ways or not. Did you?
In the actual exam, I did separate everything into paragraphs. I think the reason why I lost points in my IELTS, like the one I sat, was because when I was coming to describe the graph, I was describing every single detail. Even they gave me a line graph and I was describing every single trend of the line graph. But then when you were talking, when you were explaining to me, you told me that I should only highlight the most important features such as the maximum and the minimum. So most probably I lost my marks there because I described in detail. It rose, then it went down, and then it reached its peak at this point. And now when you're explaining, I realize that's wrong. That's not what I should have highlighted on. So I probably lost a lot of marks.
Maybe it could be a reason, but the main thing that I found out was the pattern. The pattern was not followed, because when you are attempting the task 1, it's compulsory to make 4 paragraphs. First for the paraphrasing, then BP 1 and 2, and then overall. Okay. And same in the task 2, 5 paragraphs should be there. Because in each paragraph, you cannot mix like this. Like suppose discuss both views have come. Okay. Like some students who don't know the pattern, what they do, they are discussing one pattern, one view in first paragraph. And while discussing that, they start mentioning the second view, the negatives of second view. But in IELTS writing, you are not supposed to mix 2 views in one paragraph. This is some of the fixed rules of writing. Okay. So this is a way of giving the example, and Yeah, if you want to give like results mostly comes in the impact, reason impact solution paragraphs. If you want to give the results, so like how you can give as a result, resultantly,